For me, ever since I started making music, I always wanted to be a producer type of artist, and playing live came hand in hand with that. So it wasn't a very hard transition for me to go from producing to playing live. Uh, I prefer playing live because I play all my own material, and it's for me it's much more exciting and a lot more fun, and I get a lot more into my sets as I play. I use the Livid R controller R from Livid. It's a company based in Austin, Texas. I use that as my main controller, and I use a machine, a micro, on the side for drum machine, claps, and whatever. That's pretty much it. I try to keep it as minimal as possible because sometimes too much can get crazy, and with the traveling, it gets really heavy. And if you have too much equipment on you, it's overkill, you know, and it's too much. I try to keep it as simple as I can. That way, like, I can really focus on what I'm doing. But what I have now works really well. I think maybe in a couple months I'll switch some things up.
Do you have a specific schedule when you sit down to compose?
I usually start with the drums. My kick drum and the bass line is usually the first things I do. With that, then I make like the hi-hats and claps or snares. With like that bass, I can sort of have a feeling where the track is gonna go. Then, honestly, after I have that down, it really depends. I might just throw in a vocal. I do a lot of my own vocals, and like I warp them and put a lot of effects on them, and sometimes they even turn out as percussion, the vocals I make. That's how much effects I put on them, and really like weird stuff and synths maybe, and different, very different. Yeah, it really depends from track to track.
Have you studied music or production to a certain school or something someone taught you?
No, I mostly learned on my own. Learned like scales and notes and stuff. But one thing is I don't really listen to techno. Yeah, it's funny to say. No, because I don't listen. I don't like to get influenced by other music, other current techno music and trending music in the electronic world. So I like to, like, when I make music, it's really like pure from me, and like I don't get influenced from other stuff. So whatever I make, it's really coming from me, and I don't have ideas in my head that, oh, I heard this track, like maybe I should do that. Or, it's really like me, pure.
You find it crucial that someone has to have some basic agility and learning in music?
I think it's important to learn some basics. Maybe if you're gonna make electronic music, I would say learn like piano. That way you can be
the keyboards.
Good, yeah, you can be really good with synthesizers and stuff. But then, yeah, drum machines, you don't need much learning. Yeah, if you want to
at least music theory,
at least know a sense of like what key to work in once you have the drums down, and what key the synth should be in. I think that's important. But then again, a lot of it works on like the ear, and usually if it sounds good, it sounds good, you know?
Do you believe that hard work overcomes talent?
Of course, 100%, no doubt about that. I believe, I don't really believe in talent that much. I really strongly believe in hard work and work ethic, and To me, that's 100%. There could, like for example, there could be someone that's not as talented, but he's really like a go-getter and really wants it, you know, really wants to become something, become an artist or whatever. And there could be someone that's really talented, but he's really lazy, very lazy, and he just you know, he makes one track a year, you know, and just sits there, you know, doesn't really do much.
Usually the talented people are like
yeah,
this.
in the long run, the hard-working person is gonna beat the person that's talented, because no one in the business world, no one wants to work with a lazy person. You know?
What's your opinion about ghost producers? It's a nice question that I always do.
No, that's not right at all. I'm not a fan of that.
It's about the ethics.
It's wrong. It's completely wrong. I know some artists, they have a lot of money and they become famous and they don't really have any talent, or they don't even know how to make music, you know, and just they have other people making the music for them, and I think that's really wrong. It shows a wrong image to the people, to the fans, you know.
No one knows it. I think no one knows it.
Yeah, if you have a lot of money, you can sure as well do that, but I really don't like that ghost producing. I think it's really wrong.
How did you started to be in the music industry?
You know, it's just slowly, some friends told me, come to this party, come to that party, and then, you know, started with one genre of electronic music, then moved to techno, and it just slowly evolved, and then I got introduced to like minimal techno, what I do now, and you know, just slow. It didn't just happen, bam, just like that. You know, it was like a slow progress. Yeah.
How do you see the electronic scene reacts in live performances?
I think it's still fresh. I think it's still upcoming, live, but I don't know. Now with the technology, it's a very thin line between DJing and live. It's the technology today with DJing, you can do tons of stuff, tons of very advanced things with controllers and effects, and it's almost like a live set, pretty much. So it's a very thin line, but when it comes down to is the artists that do play live, I would say like 90% of them, they all play their own material, which it's appreciative, you know, like someone really made the time to make all this music and is really like giving all he has on the dance floor.
He wants to show to
like
the people what he's doing.
Yeah, that's why I do it, because it's really like I'm putting like all of me like out there, you know, like this is me. I'm not playing anyone else's tracks. Like, I'm really showing the crowd like this is who I am. This is my music. Like this is 100% me. In Europe, people appreciate more the music. Like they don't take it for granted almost. My favorite place to play is in Spain. I really enjoy playing in Spain. Find in Spain people really appreciate the music. You know, they don't take anything for granted, and most places in Europe they're all about having fun. You know, in America more the crowd is more serious and not as much party vibe. It's more serious. and they take things, I think, more for granted. And still, America is a bit behind than Europe. Europe is, especially in electronic music, they're much more advanced than in America.
And how do you see the electronic scene being progressed through the years? Do you see there is a future in the electronic scene?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's growing really fast right now, especially in America. It's really blowing up. But the EDM scene is extremely popular, and a lot of people say it's bad, but honestly, I think it's a good thing because they do these huge festivals like EDC in Las Vegas, and the good thing about these festivals is that you have like the big EDM stages and whatever, but you also have the techno areas,
yeah.
and more underground music, drum and bass or whatever. And it's good because all these kids come to the festival, and maybe 1 out of 10 kids will veer off, go to the tech, just wander around, and just he'll end up in the techno stage and be like, wow, this is really cool, like I've never heard this music before, and they just learn new things, and so it expands the techno world and more underground music too.
Do you think there is a connection between EDM and techno?
No. No, honestly, I don't even believe that EDM is even music. It's just noise to me.
What was your greatest event so far? The one that you enjoyed it most?
I think I have 2 of them. When I played with the Dubfire at Stereo, that was a lot of fun. Really good event. And I played in Baraka in Valencia. It was unbelievable fun.
The vibe of the crowd was...
Yeah, it was like 2,000 people. Unbelievable. They were really like jumping up and down, really party people. I think they really enjoyed it.
You told me a story this afternoon about how you met Dubfire and how you were inserted in his label.
Ali played at Stereo in where I'm from in Montreal like 3 years ago, and I just went up in the booth and I gave him a USB with some of my music on it, and he messaged me a week later and really liked one of the tracks, and just from there and started. I kept sending him more music, and slowly he liked what I was sending him, and he was playing what I was giving him, and signed the first EP, then second EP, and we built a relationship, and now we say we're friends. And
what type of advice do you give to a newcomer that wants to be a part of the music industry?
Be unique, be different, don't follow anyone, and work hard.
You believe that if someone follows these steps,
yeah,
works hard, of course, the most basic thing is to work
honestly,
hard.
and anything you do, the work will always be there. You can never do anything and not work, you have to be able to work and work and work, and then you'll be able to become something. But yeah, you have to work. That's the number one thing for me. Work ethic is very important. You have to be different. You have to be unique in your own way. Your music has to be different, something that not many people have heard before. Also, if you have those 2 things, a bit of luck too, obviously. There's a lot of artists out there trying to make a name for themselves. You have to be a go-getter too. You have to go out there, try and get your music out there, give it to whichever artist you want to give it to, big names or whatever. But at the end of the day, it comes down to work ethic.
You also said that some influences were Janis Joplin and other
Oh yeah.
old American artists, which is very
Yeah.
strange for a person at your age. Do you think that more and more people should pay attention to older artists because then it was music, pure
Yeah,
music?
yeah. I find now it's just with the internet and stuff, it's like a cloud, you know. And there's music, but there's a lot of other things too, you know. And back in the '60s, '70s, it was really pure music. You know? It was really about the music, and that's why I listen to a lot of like late '60s, '70s, like Janis Joplin, Zeppelin, and Jimi Hendrix, and those type of guys, because it's really raw. You know, the music is very raw and very, very powerful. Especially Janis Joplin, very, very powerful music. You know, and it really it hits you hard. That type of music, just the voice, you know, and the sounds, like you, the claps, the from the drum, they're not all the same. You know, it's not really like a machine. You know, it's like one sounds different from the other. It's really raw. It's very raw. I really enjoy listening to. Like I said, you have to be unique in your own way. You have to have music that doesn't sound like anything else, or not close to anything else, you know, just really different, but still good at the same time, which is kind of hard to do.